Hey guys, here we are. Hi again. Thanks for tuning in. So this is where we are. Um, you saw yesterday, or the video I did yesterday. I had left it off with the carriage being mounted, but nothing else. Well, it only had 2 bolts and a couple of wires. So I went ahead today already and got the motor, transmission, tire assembly off of the other frame, and I got it mounted on here, and I almost got it where I wanted. I'm gonna have to jack it up a little bit more. I want to try to get the Craftsman rail or the Craftsman frame level, and to get that one level, or try to get them as level as I can. There is a little bit of difference, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get both sections level. If I can't, I'll try to split the bubble. Do the best I can to get them both as close to level as possible. I thought about increasing the angle on the rear end to give it a little bit more lift and get that a little bit of down angle, but I want the back platform as level as possible along with this level, so I can try to use maybe the original body components that came off of that and put it on here, and then the original Craftsman components, and try to blend them with a little bit of framework, which I have some 1/4-inch bar and whatnot, and I can weld that up. I've got a buddy that can help me with the fiberglass work, but we'll see what happens. Overall, right now, I was super happy that how easy that came off of that other body, and how easy it went on this frame. The whole unit might weigh 35 pounds if it's doing good. So it was super easy to put on. Basically, all I did was I attached the shock mount bolt and then tilted the motor like this, and the motor mount line straight up with the frame. I slid the bolt through and tightened it down, and that's it. So yeah, today my goal is to level that up, or as best as possible, then go ahead and drill the extra holes on both sides and get that bolted in. I'm going to try to use the bolts from this that I took off while taking all of this apart, so I don't have to buy any. I do have some 3/8 bolts and nuts lying around. If not the nuts, I have the bolts at least that I know of, or maybe they're 5/16. If that's all I have, that's what I'll use. Um, and try to get that stabilized today. My goal is to get that stabilized, and then possibly start working on the wiring for the engine assembly. Actually, I'll probably put off the wiring for now and go ahead and get that carburetor torn down and get that completely cleaned up and rebuilt. The jets, the bowl cleaned out, the float level, primary, secondary jets, idle circuits, and get that all taken care of. And then I will go ahead and start on the wiring. All the wiring is on that chassis. And the original wiring is still on that piece over there, what's left of this chassis. So I don't think I'll have a problem. I know I have to take the coil off of that one, and maybe some other components that weren't on that one, but I think I have everything I need. Now I know the reason that we stopped riding that one is that there was an electrical problem, and the cables, the brake and the brake cables, both the front and rear brake, were completely rusted up and locked up, so I couldn't actuate the brakes. The throttle still worked just fine, but I couldn't squeeze the brakes to stop it. And on these, they have a safety switch where if you can't lock the parking brake, the rear brake on the left-hand side, if you can't lock that in place, they won't start. So not being able to lock that in place, one, prevented it from starting, but two, I also couldn't drive it or stop it. So that's why that thing got parked initially. I just changed the oil, just done a tune-up on it. The oil in the engine is still good, maybe if a little bit low, but it was brand new Castrol oil, cycle oil that I put in there. It's still good and clean. I checked that yesterday when I pulled the component off and put it on here. So at least I've got that to work with. The carburetor is going to be a trick to clean up and work on, but I'll get that done too. So that first, Do the engine mount or the frame mount first, get that drilled and bolted, then the carburetor, and then I'm gonna start swapping wiring over. I've got a car battery that I'm gonna make a bracket for to sit in that box to start this with. It does have a small charger system on it, so that shouldn't be a problem to keep that battery charged. And then we're gonna go from there. See what we can do. So y'all stick around. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you like it, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you don't, I appreciate you showing up and tuning in. I'm gonna get to work. Like I said, I still got a lot to do, so we're gonna see where it goes from here. Thanks, guys. See y'all later.